So you
Okay.
ready?
100%.
You like how you look? You like your background?
I mean, are you gonna record me or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna record it.
Oh. Okay.
It's okay.
Those are my study glasses. These are my interesting guy glasses. Wait.
Your interesting guy glasses?
Yes, these are the ones.
Those are your nice ones? Okay. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, hello, Jose.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, Sin?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome.
I'm
Here,
excited.
living on campus on quarantine.
Yes,
As
yes.
probably our listeners will be.
What'd you say?
As our listeners will be.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so can you just introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us what you're majoring in, all that fun stuff. Anything you'd like to share about yourself.
Okay, so well, my name is Jose. Jose Soutuyo. I am from Spain. I originally came here to Greenville to keep studying, my business major.
Mm-hmm.
But then it wasn't my time here in the States and living college athletics when I fell in love with how sports is, said over here, and the mentality that in the US have regarding sports. So I decided to include sports management as another major. So I'm double majoring in business management and sports management. Family life. I have a sister, and I have well, my parents and my sister. So we are a family of four, and they are all back home. They're in lockdowns because I'm from Spain, and the coronavirus is hitting some kind of hard over there. So they have been for almost a month over there in lockdown, which is like lockdown. They cannot basically leave home.
How old
And
is your sister?
she's 23.
Okay, and she lives at home?
Yeah, she's at home because of the coronavirus. She was in
Oh,
Madrid. She was working. She was doing her thing, but due to them circumstances, she had
yeah.
to come back home. But they're all safe. They're all healthy, which is the important thing. Hobbies. I like playing sports, any kind of sports. I'm an addict, if you can call it that way. I love shows, films. I'm that kind of content lover, and I would say, you know, having fun with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting fact. What do you want to hear about me that you haven't heard yet?
uh, I don't know. What do I know about you that's interesting? You are just interesting yourself. You're a chef now. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, yeah. I've always loved cooking, but
Cooking.
this last week was, the time when I had to show it
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
to the rest of the world, which I think was kind of good because Reagan honestly did a really good job editing. So
Yeah. So for those of you listening that don't know what we're talking about, Jose did a cooking video. It was his project during quarantine, and he did a really good job. And he challenged everybody at Greenville to do what he cooked. What did you cook? Chicken croquetas?
so it was a Spanish dish that we originally back home we do it with ham, with like had a regular ham,
Mm-hmm.
but due to we're in the States, I decided to do with bacon.
Yeah. I thought that was funny because it's like so American having to use bacon. We love our bacon over here.
Croquetas bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon croquetas, sorry.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so that's what Jose made, and like you challenged everyone to either make that or to do their own favorite recipe and post it on their
Yeah,
social media.
yeah, exactly. So if you guys can, mimic what I did, I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's not that complicated. You can do so, or if you feel more confident doing your own stuff, please, we wanna see it.
Yeah, and Reagan was the one videoing, and she did such a great job on that. So
It did. It did.
her
It
laughing
wasn't
behind the camera was so funny.
because most of the ingredients I didn't know how to, like the name of them,
Mm,
especially the breading. Because I was gonna say like this kind of flour that put
yeah.
around the croquetas. She kind of helped me out. Well, she helped me out in every kind of aspect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for Reagan. Thank you, Reagan.
Yeah, that's great. So, I mean, we've kind of dived in here pretty deep, but you want to talk about like, so you're from Spain, which is
Hmm.
way across the big ocean. You want to talk about how you found Greenville, or maybe how Greenville found you. I don't know how you perceive that, and just why you chose Greenville when you could pretty much go anywhere. And
Uh,
you chose to come from all the way from Spain and come to the middle of the cornfield. So, can you tell us about why you made that decision, and how your experience at Greenville has been so far?
so that was a journey. I would say that was a big step for me to make,
Mhm.
because I'm from Spain, and the capital of Spain is Madrid, but I wasn't born and raised in Madrid. I was born and raised in the north of Spain, but when I first started college, because I transferred from Madrid to here, I went to Madrid to study my first 2 years of college, but then I remember perfect. I mean, I remember when I first started thinking about coming here to the U.S. It was January after Christmas, after the Christmas break. I was like watching videos of U.S. college athletes, and it's like day in life of soccer, whatever. And I was like thinking, oh, this is really great. I mean, this experience should be once in a lifetime.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about it for a while, like 2 weeks in a row. Like, should I take the do it and live the experience? And when I'm old, I would say, well, at least you did it, Jose. You have the experience. You know what
Mhm.
that is. So I was like, yes, let's do it. I remember that the next 3 months were a nightmare, because I was trying to find, yeah, it was a nightmare, because I was trying to find the best way to do it, to convalidate all the credits that I have taken during those 2 years in Madrid. So I was like, I need to find some kind of help in an agency that will help me stay in contact with colleges around the US, help me out, and that kind of stuff. So I found this agency that was running a showcase, a soccer showcase in Cancun, in Mexico. So I was like, okay, maybe this looks too much, but if they really offer what they say they offer,
Mhm.
I think it's worth it to go there and give it a try. So it's me trying to getting all the classes that I've taken, validating, send it to the US, stay in contact with my current university, saying that I'm leaving. You guys need to help me out to get this thing going. Then the US embassy paper, and with all the visa and all the legal stuff,
Mhm.
which was also hectic. Um, but well, I'm in Cancun. I'm there. I want to do my best, and there were a lot of US coaches in the on the side of the soccer field, and one of them was current GU men's soccer head coach Chris Swift, and his assistant coach back in the day, which was David Bassett. And we started talking, and they offered me a scholarship to come here to the US. And when I came back home, I talked to my friends. I kind of shared the experience with them, and I wanted to hear from them from their point of view, to see, what do you think about, coming to the
Mhm.
US, to this college, or this college, or this college. So I was like, well, I've already started talking to Chris Swift about it. So, I have like a person to contact to, and I have his phone number. He has already called me like once or twice, so I feel confident coming here, and they have treated me well. So I think I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna
Mhm.
come.
Mhm.
And
That's
yeah,
a cool story. So when you say like when you first heard of like the showcase in Mexico, you kind of talked about like, oh, is this really real? Like, did it seem too good to be true?
it did.
And
It
then
did.
when Coach Swift like approached you, did it seem like, wait a minute, like this is actually real?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you think about the process of coming here to the US, everything looks so complicated,
Mhm.
which in some aspect it is, but it looked way easier for me because I was, in the right place at the right time with the
Mhm.
right people.
Yeah.
So when those three things gather together, are together, is like easy
Yeah.
in
And
every aspect of life, basically.
yeah. And so you say Chris Swift, the Coach Swift, he offered you like a scholarship. Like, can you explain like how we're a D3 school and we don't offer like athletic scholarships, but we offer like most
It
people that
was
go to Greenville.
Yeah, it was basically an international student scholarship. I was coming to GU to play soccer,
Mhm.
but the scholarship wasn't like related to my soccer skills or
Right.
my, you know, it was
Right.
more related to who I am and where I come from because I'm international. So,
Yeah. So do you think your grades played into that too? Like at your other college in Madrid and in high school and stuff?
so
Like
my grades were good.
they could tell you were a
They,
good student.
yeah, because they basically made it super easy for me to get in. So it was
Mhm.
like in matters of a week, I was already, getting things going with GU. So
Yeah.
I guess getting everything, done, well done, with good grades and, I don't know, their background, I don't know. It
Yeah.
helped getting things going easier and
Yeah.
probably other students, especially
Right.
with the level of English and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense too. Your level of English probably helped.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even though it's not like perfect,
Mhm.
I'm honestly saying that it's gonna take me a while to get a really good, accent and everything. But I know things are going, and they will work.
So it's been, how long ago was that when you played in the showcase? How long have you been at Greenville?
It was, I remember, July 2018.
So almost 2 years
Yeah, and
ago.
I've been in Greenville since August 2018.
So can you talk about how your experience has been so far?
It's been great. So I consider myself a guy that wants to be involved and wants to, to do as many things as possible. So I would say that this feature of me of being, this kind of guy that wants to, get to know each other, get to know everybody, get to know how all the processes and all the activities work here in the US, especially in college with athletics and everything. I guess that me trying to understand and learn that helped me have like, a really good time, meet great people because the community here is awesome. You guys all know that. And yeah, I think in these 2 years I've done quite a lot of stuff which are helping me and will help me in the near future for sure.
Mhm. What kind of stuff are you talking about?
So being part of GSGA and having a couple of jobs on campus because I didn't have like a regular job back in Spain, but I used to, do some stuff in the family business during the summer. But it was new for me to study, play sports, and have a job at the same time, which
Yeah,
was challenging and interesting at the same time.
because you're on GSGA, but you're also an academic coach, right?
An academic coach, and I worked for a few weeks in the admissions office calling students. So you can see me calling prospect students to the phone and having awesome conversations.
Yeah, so that's a big difference going from like Madrid, where you're just basically studying, playing soccer, and now you're studying two majors, playing soccer, involved in a bunch of different jobs and stuff. So like how did you learn how to balance all of it? How did you, cuz I know you're a go-getter. Like you go get it if you want it. And so this experience that you've wanted in the US, like you've found it, like you've fought for it, and like you knew you wanted to do everything you possibly could while you were here, to really take advantage of like the opportunity to come here. And so, yeah, how do you, because like I've been through it too. Like I played basketball, I was,
Uh-huh.
all
I
of
would say
that.
that you're the busiest person of campus
But I think you're
in
the
the West here.
busiest. But I think you're the busiest. So can you just talk about like how you balance all of it?
um, so back home, this living on campus experience is completely new for me. Back home, I used to live, in an apartment. I used to go from 8 in the morning to 2 p.m. from Monday to Friday to college, because I had classes back and forth all day long. And coming here, I knew, because of all the videos that I've watched, and I was, well prepared mentally. That things here work different. So there might be days where you have two classes in a day, or there might be days where you have four classes in the morning, and then one at 7 p.m., which
Mhm.
drives me crazy sometimes. And yeah, so I think you find the balance, like going like easy on you. So try to first deal with classes, as I did in my first semester for 2018. So I just had soccer and classes that semester, right?
Mhm.
So moving on, spring 2019, I decided, okay, Jose, let's put some more weight on your back to see how you can manage it. So I started with off-season soccer classes, and then I had a job in the being a web designer for the Scribblers, the arts journal here on campus. So
Mhm.
I was dealing with all those three things. So, and I was doing pretty good. I had, okay, you have some kind of time, leisure time for yourself. You can, watch movies, which is what you like the most, Jose. So I was dealing with that pretty good. So I say, okay, this summer I'm gonna plan the summer to put even more weight on myself, and see if I can deal with it. And I would say experience more involvement on campus. So that's when I started being part of GSGA, academic coach, and an academic coach. So I had two jobs, um, the soccer season and classes in fall 2019, which
Mhm.
was last semester. And this semester I said, okay, Jose, let's put a little bit more on it. And I had three jobs, GSGA, academic coaching, and that one on admissions and night calling, classes, and the off season for the soccer. So it might seem overwhelming from other people' point of view, but it's not about starting it, with both feet on dealing with all of it at the same time. It's kind of
Mhm.
a process that you learn how to deal with and manage. And I think it takes time management skills, like, a lot. And obviously I procrastinate sometimes, a lot of the times. um, and it takes some kind of consideration from your part, and discipline for sure. That would say is the word, discipline.
Mhm.
And knowing that what you're doing right now is going to help you in the near future, and you're going to impact people, and your efforts are going to have some benefits for sure.
Yeah. I just love the way that you talk about your story from like semester to semester and like adding on a little bit just to see if you can keep your head above the water. And like to some, like at first I'm like, wow, Jose, why are you torturing yourself like that? Like just take it easy. But like you have goals and you know that you have to do these things in order to reach them. And I just think that's so cool. Um, whenever so the first time I ever heard about Jose was he's applying for GSGA and Josiah's like, guys, they call him Abuela on the soccer team. Like he'll just be a great grandpa for us, like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to expect from this guy because like he's a grandpa, but like I don't know. And then we decide, okay, we'll hire Jose. We hire him, come back in the fall, and we're doing NSO and the freshman mugging. So like the root beer and everything. I'll never forget this story. And
I know what you're talking about.
you do?
I don't.
You don't know? Oh.
No.
Well, this is always my favorite story about you. So we're at the freshman mugging and it's a lot of work. And we're like, we're carrying all the mugs, we're setting up all the tables, scooping all the ice cream, getting ready for it that day. And it was right before students were like about to come and get their mugs, and you come up to me and you're like, Sid, and I was like, what's going on, what's wrong, like you seem kind of worried. And then I look down at your leg and you have a bunch of blood just like gushing out of your leg, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And then you're like, it's fine, and you're like rubbing it with your hands off, and you're like, let's go, like what do you need from me, what do you need next? And I'm like, Jose, like you just have a cut on your leg and you're asking me like what you need to do next. I was like, you need to go clean that up. And you just fought with me. You were like, no, like I can do this, like what do you need? And I'm like, Jose, get in my car, we're gonna go to my apartment, we're gonna clean your leg up. And you just argued, you're just like, no Sid. And then finally like I had to like look you in the eyes and I was like, Jose, listen to me.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I
It
remember.
was
I
just like,
remember that.
yeah, it was just like, I just think that story shows your resilience for like your goals and what you want. And so it was like, you applied for this position, we gave it to you, and you were like, I'm going to get every experience I can. And from that moment on, the rest of the year, I knew in my head, like, okay, Jose is going to run through a brick wall for me. Like, I can count on him for anything. And he's going to work as hard as he can. And so I don't know, all of that together just, I think, paints a pretty good picture for how you're able to balance it all, of just like not making excuses. Like I've never heard you make an excuse in your life, which I'm over here like, technically I'm your boss, but like I'm making all these excuses. So I just admire, and I know a lot of students admire your tenacity and just like the way that you go after life. So
thank you for those beautiful words.
it's just awesome.
Well, I remember about that story, and I remember that it was, I think it was like 9. No, it was late at night because we were breaking everything down, and I didn't care about the car at all because it was so late. We were all so tired that I was like, I will just clean it, Let's finish this up.
You couldn't even feel it. It was so late.
No.
Oh, geez. So, kind of switching up the topic a little bit. One of my goals as president, and so you've seen this throughout the year, was to incorporate more spiritual aspects onto our cabinet. And Greenville being such a good place to kind of develop your faith. Can you talk about how that's been for you, your experience with that, and like just how your faith plays a role in having to balance all of this that you have going on?
Mm-hmm. So I would say that everyone that knows me back home, I was born and raised in a Catholic, context, family, but faith wasn't, and religion wasn't in, the first line of importance in my life back in the day. But it was when I would always, remember this, and it would always be in my head. how faith plays a role in how the community works here in Greenville, because you don't see and you don't find these quality people and these committed people and these helpful, grateful people anywhere. And this was like an experience that actually shocked me the first time. I was like, when I'm back, where I'm from, you don't find these quality people all together. You know, you find one like every 2 years. And when I realized that this community bondage is due to how God and religion plays, a really important role in their lives, and it's their way to be, is it kind of impacted me, and it helped me, and it kind of told me, Jose, you need to invest time in this. You need to look for how to be part of this community, be a good disciple, and help you out in building yourself, grow, and find who you really want to be. And I'm really working on it, and it's really challenging because I am from a completely different background, and it kind of challenged when what I had been experienced most of the time of my life, and I'm still fighting through that situation. But I would say this experience really challenged me in order to be better, in order to be grateful for everything I've been given, and I've been given the opportunity to live, which I think is really important. Trying to impact people and help them, when they're going to tough times, as people here have helped me in all these 4 semesters and last year. And I don't know, I'm just feeling that I have to give this love back to them, to the rest of as a student leader, to the campus, and to people around me. It's always like I wouldn't say it's a pressure that I put on me, to provide and impact and give people this kind of feeling that you have Jose here to help you, and this is they got to go to if you need some guidance. So I think that it's hard to explain sometimes, because the image that you have for yourself changes, like depending on the experience that you live and what you're going through, during your life, and especially here, especially now, because of the coronavirus, that everything is like a mess in your head, and it's really hard to focus. That you really need to give back and be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool picture that you painted of like, you don't find it's so funny. You're like, you don't find this many, like this quantity of nice people. So there has to be something different. And I think a lot of times as Christians, we like think that we're on this journey and we have to be very outward about our faith and like talk about Jesus. Like we are to evangelize. That's kind of like our calling. But the way that you talk about it shows that just by doing and helping and being good, people will notice something that's different about you. And then you're like, well, I'm a little bit different because I believe in Jesus. And that way you don't even have to be like, you're not a person that's like standing up and saying, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian. You're like working at it, and you're doing things that show that you are that you're a man of God. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool. You bring up the coronavirus.
Yeah, our friend, our lovely friend.
Our lovely friend. So you want to talk about that? How that's impacted your life right now?
So as you guys can see, I'm still in my dorm, which means, well, I have to get used to it for the summer because I'm staying here.
Yeah.
So yes, the coronavirus is it's gonna affect us all, like directly in some aspect or another. Hopefully, it doesn't affect us, in the personal. Having your family and friends healthy and safe.
Mhm.
But for sure, it's gonna affect us in matters of jobs next semester.
Mhm.
I don't know you guys, but I have hope that I'm gonna be here next semester on campus with, with you
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
and we don't have any kind of credit that that's gonna happen, 100%, because we don't know when this situation is gonna end.
Yeah.
So I have hope. I try to live my life as normal as possible,
Mhm.
and try to keep my head healthy, because that's probably the biggest challenge right now, because being
Mhm.
in lockdown and being surrounded by four walls, it can be really hard for you to
Mhm.
stay focused and stay as you were mentally before this whole thing
Right.
happened.
Right. How are your classes now that they're online?
um I feel that I have way more homework than before. So
Yeah.
I'm writing a lot of papers right now.
Uh,
I have had online classes before, but not all of them, in a row.
mhm.
Like, come and get it. Take it or leave it, but you gotta turn this in by next week. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a big challenge, because you have to keep in your head that the mornings, it's like you have that class in the morning. So you have, from my point, like in my case, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, finance and fundraising at 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, I'm not gonna be at 8 a.m. in the morning working on this class, but I know that I have to do some kind of work these days for that class, in order to catch up and be right on time with all the assignments. But it's, once again, time management, and knowing that you have to keep working on this, because even though you're not present on campus and you're not going to class, this really matters for your future. So
Mhm.
keep working, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like that. Do you feel like Greenville supported you? Like, are your professors helping you? Like, how was the process of transitioning? Like, did Greenville help you to do that better?
Yeah, I mean, I am grateful for Greenville to accept us, all internationals back on campus after spring break, because
Mm,
I know that not all colleges are doing that. So I have friends, Spanish friends, that are here studying in the US as well, and they're back home. They are in lockdown because their
mhm.
colleges didn't, allow them to stay on
Yeah.
campus. So I'm really grateful from Greenville to offer us this possibility of keep doing normal life
Mhm.
and having meals offered, because the union is not open, but the DC is giving us 2 meals a day,
Right.
which is great. And yeah, I think EU has once again provided a good solution and an answer for the students in times
Mhm.
of hardship.
Yeah.
And also, I've read some articles about this as well, and most colleges are not gonna refund any money
Mhm.
for not even board, housing, or
Yeah.
class, which a lot of people are gonna be super, like mad about it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I and Greenville is gonna work on some refunding. So I think it's a really good like decision from the board of directors,
Mhm.
to show that Greenville cares about its students,
Yeah.
and that.
And I really think that that is why, like there's no other reason other than we don't want to leave these students they paid for something that they didn't get. Like that's just morally not something that Greenville stands for. And I agree with you. I think keeping it open, I'll never forget seeing you with your suitcase walking down the sidewalk, and I was like, what the heck is he doing? Like, why is he so happy? Why is he here? And you're just like, oh, life is just normal. Like, I'm just gonna, we're gonna press pause on like the community being face to face,
Mhm.
but you're just keep on going. And I was like, okay, that was encouraging to me to just see you walk on campus with a smile on your face, rolling your little suitcase, and you're just like, like any other day. And you already knew it. It wasn't like you weren't unaware of the circumstances. Like you were totally aware of everything that's going on. So I think that's just really cool. And yeah, Greenville's just done a lot for me, I know. And so it's good to hear that it's not just me, it's
Mhm. No,
everybody. And so,
it's everybody.
yeah. So, last thing, just your advice. Like, what advice do you have? We talked a lot about balancing everything and this transition and just those two topics coming together. Do you have any advice for students that, are feeling a lot of pressure?
Um, okay, what kind of advice do you want?
I want Jose advice. I want Abuela advice.
Okay, so um, a good piece of advice from me would be keep yourself, I wouldn't say busy, but interested in different things. Work
Mhm.
on things that you like and that you for sure know that you want to do in the future. So, for example, I don't know if you like coaching, start doing some online coaching courses, or if you like marketing, do some hotspot or um, Google Digital Garage courses, as most of us are doing. So I know that we are going to tough situations. Maybe people are working and they're taking classes at the same time. It's like take your time and work on yourself, and everything is gonna get better.
Mm.
But it's time to keep working and not forgetting about what you want, what you want to be in the near future, and to show the best version of yourself and
Yeah.
being better every day.
Yeah, I think that's good. Even though a lot of stuff is canceled, a lot of stuff's not happening anymore. It's, the opportunity to grow, even when you're by yourself, surrounded by those four walls, like you have your laptop, you have Wi-Fi, like get going on all the things you've always wanted to do. So
But
I
I
think
have
that's really cool.
in the past.
Yeah. All right, Jose. Well, thank you for your time. This is awesome. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for everything you do for campus and for me. It's just, you're amazing. There's no other words.
it, it's a pleasure. Thank you guys for helping me as well, and to make me feel welcome.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.